The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the BNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher. I wonder when it does now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday to those in television land. Happy Thursday to our silent supporters. Happy Thursday to those in the chat. Thank you as usual for tuning in. Remember, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Today's topic is Daryl Necromancy with your host, Mystic Sensation, which is Baron and Marie. We have Pink Green and Melting Pot as well as the panelists. And let me just quickly welcome those in the chat: Dorothy McCoy, Dan Mel, Carol Banton, Laverne, Beverly, Sonia Johnson, Patel Cruikshank, Muriel King, Carla Evans, Michelle Guthrie, Curiosity Kid, Robert Angus, Angela Cole, Jean Jarrett, Pauline Compass, A. Keem, Curiosity Kid, Miranda Rudox, Driver A, Larry Beckford, our moderator, Real Black Woman, Megawatt Volt, another moderator, Falmouth Girl 2, Lavina Miles, Althea Johnson, Wayne Gray, Lyndon Green, Rosa Blessed upon herself, welcome, and also a big shout out to all our channel members. Thank you so much for the extra support, really appreciate it. Charlene Cole, Top Notch Carpentry, Jacquan, welcome.
All right. Thank you, wifey, for that usual wonderful precursor there.
There are no indecent language to
Oh no, we are pretty much going to be decent tonight. And particularly, let me tell our Jamaican people who are tuning in now that, of course, shortly we'll have in studio, right, one of our political titans and powerhouse, right, which is Lady Joan Gordon Webley, MP candidate for West Rural St. Andrew. It's a pleasure and it's a privilege to have her coming into the studio. And of course, we are going to just, have some interactions with her. So we're looking forward for that. In the meantime, let us just go do our meet and greet. Right, Spinks, go ahead, meet and greet as usual.
Good afternoon, Lady Anne Marie and Uncle Byron. Good afternoon to my friends in the UK, melting pot. Good afternoon to everyone in the chat and to everyone who's listening to this program today. Good afternoon again to my friends and family in St. James, my friends and family in St. Elizabeth, my friends and family in Clarendon, and my friends and family in Kingston and St. Andrew. Yes, my family is all over the place, and especially my family who lives overseas too. And to all the blood and fire comrades who are voting next Wednesday, and to my soldiers and police officers and my EOJ agents, workers who are voting tomorrow, good afternoon to you all.
Well done, Sister Spinks. And let us move on to our opening batsman, Melting Pot.
Thank you, Sir Byron. Pleasant good afternoon to one and all. It's a pleasure to be here on this, Thursday afternoon. Once again, sharing the spotlight with you, our diehard friends and listeners, viewers, like all over the island. Yeah, I must also acknowledge our hardworking Lady Pinsky West from the West, and Sir Byron, our technical director, Lady Anne Marie, and our guest that soon be appearing. Good afternoon to you all. Welcome to the Mystic Life. And we're back to you, Sir Byron.
All right, thank you very much, Melting Pot. My Jamaica, we have seen what I would call Daryl Vaz necromancy. I don't know if Daryl Vaz is speaking to the dead, because obviously it seems like what it is. And I realize that he has now resorted to that as a result of, Mystic Sensation, right? Revealed particularly where his chief engineer, right, director, had exited the island, who in charge of procurement processes. And we realized that that person had exited as a result of, during the rolling out of the understanding of the $1.4 billion being spent, right? And of course, some level of accountability, right, has to be given. And so far, they are just biting around corners, right? And we are not getting any straight answers that relates to that accountability. So without any delay, let us just show a clip as it relates to, I would say, Daryl Vaz necromancy, right? Seems like he's speaking to the dead, and whatever he's doing there, right? But that cannot help any attack. All right, you know what? We have our political powerhouse, so let's just break that, right? Because of course we have none other. And I want to, before I have the comrade MP candidate for West Rural St. Andrew, grace the platform, I want to just tell Jamaicans that Joan Gordon Webley is one of those persons. Personally, for me, I see her as, I would say, the nanny of our politics, if you want to put it that. And having putting it that way, right, someone who advocating for social justice. And I tell you, it's a pleasure, right, to have her here. So without any further ado, let me just introduce our political titan and powerhouse, right? Joan Gordon Webley, MP candidate for West Rural St. Andrew. It's a pleasure to have you here, Joan. All right. Before I because
there's a break in and out.
It's a break in and out.
Yeah, which internet?
Okay. Do want to make sure that everyone is hearing us clear tonight, this evening. So we are up. Everyone is hearing. Give me a signal that we are hearing.
The sound is choppy, sound not clear. Yes, I am. Apparently, there have been internet distortion on the live sound, like a creeping sound glitching in and out.
Yes.
You guys are seeing it as well, the panel?
Well, everything's normal now. There was a bit of distortion earlier
Clear
on.
for,
They're good now.
clear for me this side.
Awesome. All right.
Not hearing clearly. The mic is not okay. Not hearing clearly.
Okay. the panel-
I'm hearing perfect.
Okay.
No, not hearing.
All right. Our guest is here. All right.
Let me log into a different device.
Let me just
talk to her and see what's happening.
yes. Let me just address her for this platform.
Other mic.
For this platform as Sister Joan. Sister Joan, this is the first time on the platform, and so then I want for you to just speak to our people, right? Telling them, right, about who is Joan Gordon Webley and what really, right, drags you into the political environment. And then we get into the meat of the matter. Sister Joan, please. Go ahead,
I don't believe you will have the time to know who I am. You know, I've been around quite a while. I am someone who enjoys the work that she does, and all about service. That's my life's work, serving. And it is what I am, someone who intends or does work extremely hard at whatever she's given to do, whatever task she's given to do. I make sure to work it. And sometimes some people say you work it to death, but that's it. I do not believe in doing things at half measures. And I do not take on things that it's not a part of me, so to speak. So whenever I get something to do, or I move at something that I want to do, I will work extremely hard. I will try to let each and everyone know what I'm about, what are the results that I need. And I work for it, and I do get them. And there's very little much I can say about me, because, as I say, it will be too much.
Exactly.
And I've been on the field quite a long time. I'm a mother of 2 girls. I'm a grandmother.
Right.
And I am someone who, I've had to basically father and mother my kids along. And I was married to a great man. And, that's me. I like life. I enjoy life.
All right. Thank you for that. And let me say to you, I have been following most of the MP candidates going into this general election, and I realize that you have been doing some vigorous canvassing in your constituency. And what I like most of all is when I researched as it relates to your bio here and your personal manifesto. I want to bite into that a bit in terms of your personal manifesto. And let me say this, Jamaica. Please, I want Jamaica to give our MP candidate a chance to deliver the programs that I have seen here, excellent programs. And we are going to speak to her and for her to relate, in terms of some of the programs that she has, and we definitely need her to get into Parliament, so that we can enjoy what we call a social transition and transformation.
Yes,
that is where we are going. And we have seen that, of course, when it comes to improve rural infrastructure and support for agricultural industries, accessible healthcare, increasing youth opportunities, cleaner, safe, connected communities, thriving small business and jobs, housing and land ownership, honest, transparent and good leadership in terms of what we are very much lacking of today when it comes to integrity, right? When it comes to accountability. And on that note, right, I want you to speak to us as it relates to, good governance related to honest transparency and leadership.
First of all, I have built my platform on 4 words: TRIL, I for integrity, and L for love. We are too intolerant of each other. So many of us do not listen before we speak. We need to be more respectful of one another. We have to understand that your view is not necessarily my view. The great Almighty has put us.
Yeah. Let me stop. Mrs. Webley, let me stop you there, because we are having a problem. A lot of people want to hear what you say, and they're having a problem. Just stay a bit. We are going to just click over a bit, sorry, and reboot, right, and get back in, because we want the people to hear you today, right? So let us just do that 2 minutes, right? And people, let's stick and stay. We are going to just reboot and come back fresh.
Melting Pot, you want to take over in the meanwhile, because we might be out, but they might still be online. So Melting Pot, take over, please. Just gonna reboot. Thanks. Okay,
Good afternoon, Mrs. John Webley. You hearing me now?
Good.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Mystic Sensation Live. Nice to have you here. It's a pleasure to share the platform with you alongside my fellow panelists, Pink Skew Green. I just want to, venture far afield and go back in time, so to speak, retrospect, as it relates to you being one of the youngest female member ever to grace the political arena in Jamaica. And, I've followed your journey, throughout that period of time, all the way up to this moment. But what I would like to ask you, as it relates to you now being in West Rural St. Andrew, a place that I am very familiar with, what is the most refreshing aspect of your time in West Rural St. Andrew, as it relates to doing your canvassing and meet and greeting the people as you go along, and some of the things that are challenging in regard to the people life up there?
But one of the most refreshing things for me, I have walked far and wide. I'm one of those persons who love to walk. I'm a farmer at heart. And in going through the constituency, you see decay, but you also see opportunities, untapped opportunities. It is one of the biggest in Kingston and St. Andrew. And I am one of those who I do not stick to the main roads. A vehicle will drop me maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and I will walk the entire day through the hills and the valleys, the interior, and you get to know the area, you get to see the people, and you see the untapped resources. And so for me, I am believing that I'm in a very exciting time. As much as you see the resources that are available to you, you're also seeing the decay. On typical days that you drive through the constituency, and you see several cars on the roadside, old cars that are just there, and they take up half the space of the roads, and you see the decay to the roads, and you see the landslips that are falling onto the roads, and you see that you have no roads, because once you cover the verges with the very with the rains, the heavy rains that are always prominent there. It takes the water onto the center of the road and it breaks it up. And then you look and you see the garbage being thrown down the hillsides, and you know, you can't help but be sorry. But at the same time, I look to my left and look to my right, and I see all these bush tea. I'm having a great pleasure with persons pointing out to me what you can use for this and what you can use for that. And I see a massive community of what I'd call bamboo. And I think, wow, there are many small waterfalls. And our ecotourism is a trade that is totally on top. I see the bamboo product. I've been overseas in many areas, and the amount of bamboo we have, you know, we can't finish it in our lifetime. And I'm saying, why is it not being used? And I think I'm the right person to get the job done. And I also see the decay. And I know I'm coming up with a methodology of how we are going to deal with our garbage. After all, when I was at the National Solid Waste, I started to use the waste to make compost. So good was it. It was examined by our scientific research lab here, and it was found to be the best in the market. Exported? No, not exported. They used to take it around Jamaica. They were the people who sold it in Jamaica. And I myself had gotten one foreign country to start taking compost from me. And I actually sent out my first container load of compost out of the island, bringing in US dollars. But, you know, I wasn't allowed to continue because government changed, and so they changed out everyone, you know, all to their peril. But nevertheless, that's how it is. I am looking forward to working with West Rural. To date, we do not have any training centers to train the youngsters within West Rural. My predecessor, Comrade Buchanan, had 6 training centers, 150 computers. There are no more. Since I've been there, I've been trying to give my students within the schools, tablets and other stuff to help them along. I walk around and I know that it is a farming community, and I'm excited, extremely excited, because I know with the plans of my government, we are going to be able to tap into that resource where our farmers can now produce food for the schools with an importation bill being cut by 25%. I know that I'm going to be able to give my kids a hot meal every day, and we are out of the Nutribon and the bag juice,
Right.
and we are able to bring in freezer house within West Rural, and we're in seasons running down the road, so we can sell them by the drum full. And I'm excited. I'm just really so excited. And when I look at our farmers and our people who are all caught up together in some areas, they'll be able to access proper housing. After all, they are the feeders of our nation. I am extremely happy that I'm working at this time, in this constituency, in this party. I'm looking forward to this work.
All right. Thank you, Melting Pot, to take over for that short stint there. And let me just say, as it relates to.
Just 1 sec. Is it better for everyone now? Just type in the chat. Let me know, please. Thanks. Sorry, guys.
Okay. All right. So we are concerned, comrade sister, that as it relates to some, new development, particularly where voter fraud is concerned. And that's a very serious issue that we want to deal with and make sure that, we're on top of that, right? And particularly where it comes to fake IDs. I don't know how truthful the information is, but we are getting some information and we want for you to speak on that. Now, as it relates to the political disorder, right? Possible voters fraud are a major concern preceding this general election. Please speak to us as it relates to the illegal aspect, the potential consequences, and the importance of meaningful democracy relating to one person, one vote.
I have listened to what is in these media houses, and I've listened to the fears of people.
Yes.
I believe that one of our strong points is that we have people within our constituencies who are working for us in the various polling stations, who have been there a long time. We continue to train and retrain because there's always something new. But familiar with the people within the constituency, and they have been given special instructions by me. I know they are trained by the EOJ office, that's our indoor agents. But I have given them special instructions that while they listen to the training, and they must go by the rules and regulations, they must also be that watchdog that is prepared to stop anything from happening inside it, to the fact that I'm going to sit here and say what our strategies are. But I am putting all my faith in my workers. They have been trained and retrained, and we will have many supervisors right there in those areas to constantly keep a watch on what is happening. I am leaving it up to my workers. I believe they know the job. I believe they're going to do the job. And I also believe that they're not going to be swayed by anyone who continues to offer money, because those offers are already coming. But they know that that money is burnt tonight, and by the next day, they'll be back to square with a member of parliament who's been there for 9 years. She came from the athletics world. Ask yourself, what has she done to uplift the constituency in that area? Absolutely nothing. She's in the Ministry of National Security. Has she any youth clubs coming out of their police youth clubs? Absolutely nothing. She found 6 training centers for youths with 150 computers. What has she done? All developed legs and walked out of the training centers. None. Absolutely nothing. I am not here for the hype. I've been through all of that. I'm not here for the hype. I'm here to teach. I'm here to work with. And I'm here to report to my constituents every quarter. My intention is to develop a vehicle that will be retrofitted as that's what I'm going to call it. It will move the constituency, every area at least once a quarter. And we will be listening. One of the things persons tell you when you walk the streets, oh, someone in your office has been rude to you. Someone in the office did not give the help to you that they want to get. And so they sink away and they do not come and let you know. They have no excuse with this member of parliament when she becomes a member. As I said, retrofitted. And I will have all that is needed to take their information and follow through to be able to assist them. I am going to be a real watchdog for these people.
All right, wonderful. Now, let me say this because people, I want you to listen in terms of what the MP candidate is saying as it relates to that mobile political representation, right? She's not going to have an office, right, that's just static, right? She's going to go out into the constituencies, right, and she will seek as it relates to persons who have issues, and she will be dealing with them. This is political representation at the best, right? You know, just imagine. Let me just speak in clarity in terms of what our political titan is saying. MP candidate John Bradley, right? For 9 years, right? As it relates, he has been for 9 years, promising after promising and promising after promising, nothing has been done. But now she's willing now to work up, right, and make sure that she addresses the people's need. And I like how she have her, I would call it her personal political manifesto. Align that with the people's interests, not with her interests or what she believes. She she canvass our constituency, speak to the people, listen to the issues, right, and having them, right, deals with her political manifesto that she has, right, and align it with the pocketbook issues, right, of the people. Now, let me say this. I am just going to ask our political titan one question, because you know where the People's National Party is coming from, Sister Joan. And at one point, as it relates to look at separation and look at thing, and yeah, the Jamaica Labour Party beat you up because of look at separation and so forth, but now we're becoming stronger. And let me say this, as it relates to the comrade leader, right? Marky G had now galvanized the party, put the party together. Even though I am speaking to you right now, and you call goosebumps is just taking the whole world. Honestly, as it relates to the mileage and momentum that the People's National Party has been enjoying now. When it comes to right integrity, we know that Marky G is the integrity boss. Right? But I want you to right? As it relates to Marky G, what are some of the attributes that now you will right and align with Marky G, right? And I see with the GenSec and everyone jumping around Marky G and pulling it. We are now moving it, and now we are now a big threat to the Jamaica Labour Party going into the general election. We are leading the momentum. Not only that we are leading the momentum, we are maintaining the momentum, and we are talking about, even some of my panelists really confident, you know what they are saying, Sister Joan? They are saying 63 for whole. Melting Pot soon come in. He's saying 63 for, because based on what we are doing on Marky G is, you know, moving the momentum. Tell us some of the attributes that pull you towards Marky G.
I will say this to you, as much as I would like 63, yes,
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah,
I
I know.
believe in democracy, and we must have an opposition.
Exactly.
That's what I believe in, honestly.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my boss, I don't even know how to talk to you about him, because I just full up a goosebumps a while ago. The fact is, I have come to know him and to love him. My daughter is one of the person who actually instilled in me some of the attributes that she knows about Marky G, having worked with him.
Yes.
She worked at Jaipur some time ago, and she was the manager for a section. She's an attorney, and she has worked with him. And I remember some time ago when there was a situation where the party was choosing a new leader. She said to me, "Mommy, so who is it you're going to choose?" And I think I'm going to choose Mark, you know. And she said, yes. And she pulled her hand like that. And I said, wow, what was that about? She says, I've worked with him. You know, she is one of those who is involved in the ganja industry. She studied in that area. And she also studied entertainment law. And she says, you know, I've worked with him. And that man is so humble. I have come to it myself. I remembered when I was about to work with him for him to be the leader. He himself called me and he said, Joan, I want you on my team. And as a matter of fact, I want you to be in charge of Region 3. And I listened and I said, you want me to be in charge of Region 3? You know that I was supporting another team in another place at another time, which does not align with what your team was doing at that time. Why would you want me not to just work, but because I know you're a woman of your word? I've seen you, I've been around you, I see how you operate. I said, let me talk to my daughters, and he laughed, you know, because every little thing I bounce off them. And he called me the next morning at about 6 o'clock. What are you saying? And I said yes. I have to say yes because it's the right thing to do, and it's the way I feel. I have worked with you. We've been into several meetings at the highest level, and I want to answer. And if you think we have not gotten it, I've seen you stay back and broach the subject again. And my second area is that, in all honesty, I didn't have so much of a childhood. Mine was very rocky. And I've had some real rocky spots along the way. But I have looked at you. I've seen so many party functions. And when I see you, you're always with your wife. I love that. My man must be a real man. He must have his lady on his arm. And he must show that family is everything. And that's one of the things that has endeared me to him, maybe more than anything else. Not only that he's bright, but his life, his family life, the way he carries himself. We need more of that in Jamaica today. I enjoy working with him. We've sat and we've all sat and had a chance to develop these policies with him. He has been on the road morning, noon, and night. And I worry for him. But God is on the throne, and God knows we need a shift from where we are today. I believe he's the right man at the right time. And I'm looking forward for the opportunity to work with him. I want him to know, and I want West Rural to know, that I am going to do their business with integrity. When we listen about all the trillions and the millions that have gone missing, oh my God, what that could have done for this country. I trust Mark Golden. I trust him. And I'm going to make sure that he has no opportunity to mistrust me. I'm behind him, beside him.
Thank you so much for that, comrade sister. And I want to strengthen your argument as it relates to, you know, the integrity of Mark Jefferson Golden. And his love for the Jamaican people is not fake. It's not a fake love and any PR, because he wants to venture into being the leader, right, or being the prime minister. Let me show you why the common leader love is genuine, 100%, you know, Jamaican love. Number one, his beautiful black empress, right? We can't deny that. But it goes beyond that. Let us show you how it goes beyond that. We remember the situation as it relates to the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, yes.
And this incumbent government, when our students being struck in the war, right, wanted to come home, right, and make an appeal to the government. This government wants our students to take out loans to do that.
Yeah.
Mortgaging, our comrade leader, the honesty and integrity bar, deep in its personal pocket, and paid and said, come on, my sons and daughters.
Absolutely.
From our way. That sends a deep thing in my heart and should send a deep thing in every Jamaican heart. Now that is it. I am going to ask you know, the other panelists who want to ask some questions, and then we also open the line to those people who really want questions to ask our comrade leader.
I was about to say that he is, I normally say to people that I speak to, Jamaica is the only place you and I can be a first-class citizen. Doesn't matter how great you are.
Yes.
Outside Jamaica. Should you buck your toe, and we all do from time to time, you'll be posted right back here. So it is up to us to build this country. And there was one time when I had to bite my lip and say, but I must be dreaming. I also remembered when the ship was out there and couldn't dock with our own citizens.
Here you go, sister.
Couldn't dock with our own citizens. And I can't understand how my country, my prime minister would have left them out there, and they were out there at sea going from port to port. Do you forget that time too?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, there's no heart in this government. There's no heart in it.
Okay. So,
you know,
so we see who care
about
and
the integrity we speak about goes that far with you. I remember not too long ago when we were called to protest in town about this lady, which happens to be from my own constituency, where a gentleman had beaten her up and actually put his foot on her head.
wow.
I stayed home and I tell you, I wept. I couldn't believe it. And I saw the minister, a lady minister, downtown talking about we must stand up against these men, so forth. And what they're doing is not political. And I wanted to scream. How can you say that when you yourself is in a party, broad daylight, and you have the audacity to be standing downtown, talking about, protecting our women, when all the women on your side is party to what has taken place with a man who beat a woman and is now still sitting in the seat, ready to serve that party again with the same man stand. There's no integrity there in anything they do or say. Yes.
Yes. 100% hypocrisy. Now, let me just, of course, for this interview, right, we want to have a lady one-on-one with another lady. Let us squeeze in, please, right, to have her question. Sister, please.
Good good afternoon, my sister Joan. How are you? Welcome to Mystic Sensation. Good to see you here again. My question is this: regarding the policy agenda, your your policy agenda for your constituency in West Rural St. Andrew. If you are elected, which we know you will be elected, what are your priorities for your constituency once you're elected?
When I am elected, I speak in the affirmative.
Yes, of course.
Yes. When you're elected, sorry, correction. When you're elected, what should be your first priority?
There are so many priorities, honestly. But honestly, for me, the major thing is education. Because so much can be gained by education. When I see the very many youths that are hanging around doing absolutely nothing, it boils within me, because that's one of the things I've always taught my kids. I've always said to them when they were growing up, I don't promise to leave you money. I like to enjoy myself. So I work and spend my money. But if it kills me, I'm going to make sure that you have a good education. Because as we're told, that never decays. You can go to the stars and back with education. And so that has to be the major priority. But it takes in so many aspects. It takes in all of the work that can be done in West Rural, the entrepreneurial positions. I have told you it is a constituency poised for ecotourism. It is poised. And if you have your nation at work, it has to be a win-win for everyone. I have to look at the water situation. Recently, the ribbon crew was in West Rural. They actually came to Mount Prospect and cut the ribbon for a water scheme that is supposed to serve many areas. New Garden, Mountain Spring, Mount Friendship, Lime Edge, just to call a few of those areas. And I had not known at the time that when the ribbon was cutting, that it was actually trucks that had come in before and filled the big tank with water. Soon after they left, soon after the ribbons were cut, we find that we are not getting any water. Every now and again, we get a little leakage into one area. And in our constituency, so many pipes of the old type were broken. And even last night, I was at a place where some of the old pipes were, and they were broken, and some water was coming through there. But it is periodic that we get some water. And then one of the farmers brought to me a little bottle of water that he had taken from the catchment. And it was, he said it came out as a dark blue color, and it is now looking like a bluish color. And I've asked someone to take it from him because we want to get it tested. But water is important to me, and even more so because when young Jesse, Councillor Jesse, had taken to the KSMC the challenge about the water quality, and our own Christina Richards had seconded the motion, we had our councillor, the GLP councillor in the area, attacked them and actually out of the council. I was flabbergasted. Because he wants to keep things quiet, he's prepared for our constituents to have this feces water virtually, and keep it quiet, and to bring insult to injury. You have now told this nation that because you were caught out, you are no longer going to send anything to the KCMC. I don't understand how my nation might be outraged. We should be speaking about it every day, and we should tell them, no way, absolutely no way. And I know that when the Mark Golding government comes in, we will continue to send back to the KCMC. It is always good to have checks and balances. We are not perfect. We are going to make mistakes. But we must know when we've made a mistake. And we must be honest about it. And we will speak to our people about it. Not try to cover up and blame someone else. I'm finding that this government is a government of blaming everybody else but themselves. I have to look at healthcare. I have been into the clinic that's in Stony Hill recently, a couple of weeks ago. Saw the big drums inside of the clinic catching water because it was raining like a sieve. I went through to some other areas and I saw the sewage water floating right there on the grounds. The clinic had so many people within it, and the clinic was stink. No other words to call it but stink, full of stench. I saw a doctor with her face covered, and I asked her, how do you work with this smell? She says, ma'am, it's been over 3 years. 3 years that we have sent over and over again to the powers that be to come and look. She says, when it rains really hard, the manhole is bubbling up, sorry, into the yard. You see all these flies on the walls? That's what comes out of the sewage. Wow. And they lodge on the walls. This is a health clinic. And when I went through to the back of the clinic, I saw some workers there eating their lunch. And I bade them hello and how are you and so forth. So I introduced myself. They were happy to see me. And they said, you know, ma'am, I'm begging you, when you win, the first thing we're asking you to do is do something about this roof. When we're eating, we have to lounge over our food because we don't want the chichi above dropping the food while we're eating. This is the condition our health workers are working through. It cannot continue. It must not continue. I visit the other clinic inside of the division just down the road, Golden Spring. They don't have sanitizers. They don't have tissue. What is this? They have to bring their own. And then I go across to another area of the constituency and I see a clinic that was renovated by my predecessor, PNP, then Member of Parliament, Buchanan. And I see this growing up all over it because it. Then you go down to a clinic inside of Lawrence Tavern, and right across it, where the candidate, where the councillor enters his home, is the biggest garbage dump you've ever seen. Right across from the clinic. Again, the stench.
Okay, she got it here. All right.
Cleanliness.
Jamaica.
Something happened with her internet.
Okay, all right. Since she might have a little internet issue there, but Jamaica, I want you to listen keenly in terms of what Comrade John Godley is saying to us, the dilapidated state of our healthcare, the dilapidated state of the healthcare in our constituency. And remember, they are at the helm for 9 years, right? And we have seen a condition like that. Come on, people. During the Porsche-Simpson-led government, we did not have nothing like this as it relates to healthcare. Nothing like this. But this is what we are facing now, right, in terms of, right, a government who cares, right, and a government who doesn't care. And a government who cares, we have to put in the People's National Party for a government who cares. A government not only do PR, speak PR, right, and does nothing. A government who brags and boasts that their government spend billions of dollars, and nothing being done. We don't need a PR government. We need a real government that government is going to challenge the issues, challenge the concerns of the people, and address those problems. The boasted of billions of dollars that's spent and we can't see, right, how those money is spent. What are we getting for the billions of dollars being spent, right? Absolutely nothing. Now, let me just bring back the comrade sister in the house. Please, do you have any more questions for us?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have one more question for my sister Joan.
Okay, go ahead.
When I speak of your history in politics, you have a history of being on the other side before you came over to the PNP. Would you like to tell us why you made the switch to PNP from the Liberals when you just came into politics?
Recently, I've been using my chat room a lot. And inside of that chat room, you will see that I'm a Leo. And the stars have blessed me with a situation where I speak my mind. I do not know how not to speak my mind. I make sure that I do it with respect, but I speak my mind. And there's a difference with the two parties. The rich gets richer, and there will be a trickle-down effect. The People's National Party can build so many schools. What are we doing? Why is it they're always sending all these people out to universities? And I just felt that their thinking was more aligned to mine. When I joined the Jamaica Labour Party, I knew nothing about politics. And it was not about, what the programs were so much as I am someone who likes to serve. I actually left the Kingston JCs doing a project in an area where there were many labor rights there. Those days I really knew nothing about politics. But I know that I like to serve. And that's what the Kingston JCs offered me. And when I saw my surroundings and saw what was happening, I believed that I could serve at a high level. Alas, I joined the Jamaica Labour Party. And I am not going to sit here and be ungrateful to anything that I've learned there, because I have learned much. But after a time, you grow up and you see things differently. And you know that this is just not the place for you. And I know that I will never be gagged. I will speak my mind. And there are some places and some people who are not going to like you because you're too bumptious. Let's put it that way. Who are you? One minister once told me that you're not from any table. You know, you don't come off a good table. Just when you decided that you are going to tell them that, listen, your seat count 1, my seat count 1. Anything your seat gets, my seat ought to get more because I have a bigger constituency. And no one likes to hear you talk to them like that. But I have to do it because you're behaving as though your seat counts 10 and mine counts 1. And your seat must get all the benefit and mine, get the crumbs. If I did not win, you could not be a minister. And I make no apologies. I go out there and I advocate strongly for my people. Some people may say you're rude, but so be it. West Rural can look forward to my strong advocation for them. I will not be, disrespectful, but I will be forceful. And I make no apologies. That's what they're sending me there for.
Pinks, do you have any more question for the comment?
Just no more question, but just an overall comment. I'm happy to have her here on our platform to express her points and views and her priorities and express her campaign and tell us about everything that's happening there and reveal to us what is happening there, because I am shocked to know that the healthcare system in West Rural St. Andrew is that bad. I mean, the current member of parliament there has been known to be very vicious and tasty to basically everybody and been very rude. And I know that if the people of West Rural St. Andrew vote for Sister Joan, they'll get someone who will treat them with respect, love, and she's a woman of integrity, and she's one person I endorse fully.
All right.
I
Thank
want
you for that.
to ask you kindly to give me a second to speak about what I intend to do insofar as the health system is concerned. On my walking through the constituency, there are literally hundreds of people with various forms of deformity. They didn't make themselves that way. We are supposed to be caring for them, looking out for them. They don't want handouts. They want to be able to help themselves. I also come across a lot of elders that are in their homes in a deplorable condition. And I also come across a lot of nurses' aides, who are not working. And my intention is to make various cubicles within the constituency and have these nurses' aides be responsible for certain areas. And their task will be to visit these homes on a daily basis. Make sure that these elders are washed, cleaned, and have at least a hot meal. Just in the same way, we are going to make sure that our children have a hot meal in school every day. Every elder who does not have anyone looking after them will have a hot meal every single day, just the same. And I'm going to be using these nurses' aid to make sure that we look out for them, look after them, so that, they are able to live in cleanliness, quietness, read to them, that sort of thing. We have to do better.
All right.
And I show my constituency what I'm made of. And, they're going to do what? Follow the leader, follow the leader.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
Well said. And this is one of the reasons why I love her. right? And I, have her as it relates to one of our political, of course, nannies, right? Who definitely advocating when it comes to social justice to make that transformation into a good and healthy society for Jamaica. Upward mobility for all of us, right? Now, let me just heal to Melting Pot, who want to ask some questions as well. Melting Pot?
Thank you, Sir Byron. Yes, Sister Joan. I would just like to revisit your first, segment that you put forward as it relates to ecotourism, right?
Yes.
And the plans, the vision that you see and what you would like to bring to that region. First of all, I would just like to ask about that main road that leads from Stony Hill all the way up to Above Rocks. I don't know what state it is in currently, but last time I was there in 2015, it was in a deplorable state, very, very deplorable state. And that is the main road that takes it from Stony Hill all the way up through Cavaliers, Parks Road, Above Rocks. I don't know if the state it is in currently, but I know it's a road that need a complete overhaul, not just patching. And what it also need is a few bus shed along the way, because that area is an area that generally rains for a long period of time in the rainy season.
It's unfortunate that you should ask me about that road because they're all the same in the constituency. Our major problems are our interior roads. If you think that is bad, come and check some of our interior roads. We have the constituents go to sleep. Our activities mostly is set up night grave digging. We don't really come to town a lot to have entertainment because you're not going to get the vehicles taking you home. They are just not able to. And when they start to charge that $1,000 from here to there and another 1,000 from here to there, you cry out and say that they're wicked, but they're not. The facts are that when you think of car parts, they have to charge that because your front end goes over and over and over. I drive a fairly sturdy car, and I have to make sure that I have two cars because it's always something happening. You know, your tires bust out, the holes are so big. A couple of nights ago, I was going home, about 2 weeks ago, and I nearly got in an accident because in the dead of night, there was a big piece of equipment asphalting that very stretch you speak about, touching out the roads here and there. And I asked myself, my God, to me it's an indictment on the people. What is she saying? That they are so foolish that they don't know what is happening here? In the dead of night, I tell you, not even a piece of light on the road. True. But you hear the noise, and when I nearly got into it, I recognized a huge piece of equipment pushing down some asphalt. That's desperation. And it would be nice to take you on a tour, because if you see the condition, I often ask myself, am I going to get the entire national road budget? Because that's how West Rural looks. I am going to have to ask for a lot of, please help me, comrade and labor rights together, because that's how I speak. I tell them, yes, you have your right to be a labor right. Yes, you have your right to be a comrade. Yes, you have your right not to support anyone, although, you know, I keep letting them know that our forefathers died to give us this vote, and we should not treat it lightly. Come together and let us help each other. We're going to have to do a lot of stopgap until we can bring back this constituency on par. A lot of pushing out to make it easier. A lot of filling holes. But I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to drainage. I'm bringing what's called the lineman system. The lineman system is that you are given a piece of road from here to there in the community. And your job is every time it rains, you must be out there with your small crew, shoveling all of the debris that has come from the top into the drains, clean the drains, clean the verges, so that it does not stay inside the middle of the road and break it up. There is no maintenance in West Rural St. Andrew, none whatsoever. So there's just so much to pay attention to. I've already said to my team that's working with me, you know, if you know you come to work just for the election, don't bother work with me, because I cannot manage it alone. I'm going to have to enlist you, because we're looking at every area, and we can't wait until when one area is fixed, we move to another. We have to be working them alongside each other. So we are going to have to look at all the areas, which is what I've been doing. We've been going around, walking. When we walk, we make a list of what the constituents are speaking about. Some constituents will say to me, what are you going to do for the constituency? And I say to them, plain and straight, I'm going to advocate for you. What is it you see that you think needs to be done? Because it's not about me, it's about you. You're best. I will then add my what to do. Many times I talk to them and I say, what is your main area? And it's strange, they'll tell me about everything else, but they never speak to me about land. I say, come on, man. Everything a human being wants. They want a piece of land. They want a house on it. They want somewhere to have their families. I'm going to be here to help them with land titling. I'm going to be here to be one of those constituents that is going to receive 500 houses per year. Yeah, I'm excited. Honestly excited to bring that to them. I'm going to be one of those who are going to be able to put them in these homes where they rent and own. Come on. This is a government who is talking about people and giving them meaningful things, something that they can say, yes, I am born Jamaican. This is my yard. This is my country. And I have peace of this rock. I'm excited to do these things.
Okay, sounding good. Final question to you. I want to look at the social aspect as it relates to social, you know, interaction, like community center that will give benefit to people, having social a vital role in the well-being of people mentally, as you know, give them that opportunity to socialize and to, you know, be active in themselves. Is there any plan to like put a center that will cater for, you know, a vast amount of people from within West Rural area? I know it's gonna need more than one.
Whilst I know that a number of people ask for community centers and so forth, I am one of those persons who believes that there's a lot of areas that we can use while we wait on a community center. It isn't every area that asks you for a community center that is going to be able to get one. But I'm going to be spending a lot of time on training, mind setting, shall I say.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I found out is in many areas that we have community centers, that tends to go to ruin too. And I want my people to understand that while I will advocate for you, you are going to have to keep what has been given to you. I will advocate, but I'm not going to come to cut the community center ground. That's your baby.
Yes.
If I'm helping in any way to bring in a project where you're going to own workers, the first thing you're going to tell me is who's going to service those workers. No, when I was at the National Solid Waste, I can tell you I started with X amount of workers. And when I left, they were there. Because the first thing I did, I'm sorry, was to bring in Delta Supplies. And they came and they had a number of weeks teaching them how to put up and bring down the worker. And I used to assign a worker to a man or a woman because we had many ladies as well. And I'm saying to them, you don't leave that worker dirty at night. You won't have a job in the morning. You have to know how you are going to keep and care these things. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time talking to our people. Not me so much, because as I told you a while ago, I can't do it alone. But I'm going to bring in those departments that can start instill into our community people why it is you must do A, B, C, D, and G. Because when you keep these things and you become owners of your community, instead of someone coming to tell you to do this and do that, I'm going to work with them to do that. That's how I'm going to deal with the social aspect.
Okay. Well said.
Thank you for that, Melting Pot.
Yes.
All right. Now let us just get into the chat, and because I've already exhausted.
I'm not hearing anyone. Are we back online?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
I think she has some technical.
Something has
Okay.
gone wrong. I'm not hearing anyone.
Okay, we are hearing you, but you are not hearing us. So
Oh, that's good.
yes.
Go out and come back.
Type that we are hearing her.
Yeah, we are hearing her loud and clear.
Okay.
Go out and come back in, Sister John.
I am I'm at a little lost. I'm not here. I see there's an action as someone is speaking, but I'm not hearing anything.
Okay.
I don't know what has just gone wrong. And it's from your studio. I'm sitting in the same spot, not hearing anything.
Type not hearing. I just typed.
Text her a message, lady, and tell her to go out and come back in. Log out and log back in.
I just typed in the chat.
It is not in chat. Yes, speak now.
See, but it's in the chat.
Okay, all right. Let us speak in the meantime. So what we are going to have, Comrade Beverly will be doing is to answer some of the questions in the chat, right? And of
I
course,
don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
I'm hearing you loud and clear, loud and clear. We are hearing you. Yes, we are hearing you. Are you hearing us?
No, she's not hearing us. We are typing for her to log out and log in. All right, so we are going to have her when she returns because she's having.
I don't know if there's an
right now.
Okay, she logged out. She saved.
Okay, all right. So while she's, starting out herself there, right? We are going to have Comrade Webley, right, responding to some of the questions in the chat, like the one that we have up there, right? Is asking, can you ask Comrade Webley what is takes on recent cyber attack at registered? Okay, she's back in, right? All right.
I'm here.
Yes.
Yes,
Are you hearing us now? Okay, all right. So we're going, because we have you exceeded an hour, so let us just speed up this. The first question that is in the chat, right? Can you ask Comrade Webley what it states on recent cyber attack at the Registered General Department, and will she planning to use the integrity lamps at all PDs?
I will be using the integrity lamps as long as they are made available. But I still say, even with the integrity lamps, I am putting a lot on my workers. They have been out there in the field. And that's all I can say. I believe they will do the job. And they will make me alert and alert the entire system if they see anything untoward.
Exactly. All right. Let me just say this, right? Now, anyone who want to call in, let us use 5 minutes for any person who want to call in. Now, Comrade Leader is here. Comrade Leader Webley is here, right? Anyone who want to call in and speak to her, right? We are giving that 5 minutes, right? Actually, so anyone who want to call in and speak to her, right? Or Comrade can do that. So let me just say this, right? Comrade Webley, do you have anything else, right, that you want to speak on, you want to elaborate on, and you want to make, right, your supporters know? Please go ahead.
I talk to not just my supporters,
yes,
but to every woman and man within West Road, St. Andrew. We have been getting a lot of persons who are saying to us, persons are moving around and offering money. I just want them to know that there's one way to deal with this. Some people say, you know, I'm going to take the money, but I'm not going to vote for them. I want them to know that don't get yourself into a position where people feel that they can purchase you. You're bigger than that. And whatever they give to you, hours, maybe a month, and then you're back to square one. Invest your time and your balance of your life in your family and yourselves and your country. And that's where I am. I'm about teaching, I'm about investing, I'm about helping a man to lift himself or herself up. Me, you're going to find a member of parliament that listens, an experienced person who knows where to go to find what it is that I don't know. For instance, I mentioned to you that I want entrepreneurship to be a major thrust in my constituency. I want to, first thing, to move out of here, find the experts in using bamboo. We are able to do a lot of teas. We want to be able to find those things. We have the small waterfalls. We want to beautify it for ecotourism. I am here to work with you. I will make sure that you find your life better when I've gone than what I've found it to be now. And I am not going to be partial in uplifting people in West Road, St. Andrew, whether you vote for me or not. As long as you come within the bounds of my constituency, your constituency, Jamaica, I am going to work with you to uplift you, because you have a right to choose. Please choose me.
All right.
That's
all right.
To say to you. Please choose
And
me.
there you go, Jamaica. There you have it. You have more than 100 reasons why to vote for our comrade MP candidate John Godley Webley, that hi, aka our political nanny. And I am not going to hesitate in saying Jamaica, when you listen to her and you hear the contrast between the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party as it relates to who care, right? You clearly see as it relates to the People's National Party who care for the Jamaican people. And I'm not going to hesitate. I am saying to you, for all of us who are listening today, put the X solely beside the head. It can't go anywhere else. If you're talking about good governance, transparency, checks and balance, honesty and integrity, and upward mobility for our Jamaican people, I want to say on behalf of the panel, we are saying to you, Comrade John Gordon Webley, we thank you for making it mystic sensation. Thank you for the privilege to speak to you today. And we are saying, don't be a stranger to the platform, right? We love you all. Take care, my sister.
Thank you so much. Please ask your listeners to call our offices if they're in doubt about anything. Our number is 845-9035. 845-9035. That's 876 in front of it. And we have our website, www.joangordonwebley.com.
All right.
We will point you in the right direction.
Remember now, you have the number.
Please call our offices.
All right. Love sister. Please, Jamaican, and for persons within the constituency, call her at 845-9045. Right? 9035. Sorry. 845-9035. All right. Thank you, comrade.
Thank you for having me.
Blessings.
Goodbye to you.
Love you. All right. All right. Let us turn to our activities now, and let us turn to the man who is dealing with necromancy. People don't believe it. No, they look at talk on me, talk and expose him. Look here. The Obia cannot help him. Let me speak. The Obia cannot help you because we have a lot more to reveal. And let me say this, right? Jamaica people, Friday, I am asking Rattigan to come back into the space Friday because of serious development that we have as it relates to investigation. This one is crucial. This one is extremely serious. These are evidence that we have looked on, we qualified them, we verified them, and we will be coming out Friday, right, to speak on that. It's, trust me, it's a magnitude as it relates to what is going to alarm us. Unbelievable with this particular government. Now let us get into our first clip as it relates to Mr. Vaz, right? Let us look what Mr. Vaz is doing. Now, can you imagine, my people, right? All of what Mr. Vaz is doing will not be able to justify him using 1.4 billion. As a matter of fact, let me just come out and say, him stealing $1.4 billion, right? In terms of purchasing old buses and all of that. This is madness. And none of this is going to help him. Unbelievable. Take him away. Now, my Jamaican people, we are digging deeper into the madness. And as I said, right, Tuesday, that his chief engineer that responsible for procurement has exited the island. Exited the island amid the information coming out as it relates to the $1.4 billion, right, that he so-called used to purchase, right, those garbage, because they are literal garbage. They should not be on the island. It's very serious. And so then, without any delay, we are going to get back into the document to show to Jamaica that we are not joking. We are going to show you that they are now advertising, right, for the chief engineer, right, the person who is responsible for procurement as it relates to Daryl Vaz ministry, right, has left the job for some reason or the other. Is she here? Okay, what is going on here? Has left the job, right? So let us get into the document and see what is going on. We are just showing Jamaica the proof, right? Here it is, people. Here it is. And here it is advertising the salary, the chief technical director, corporate service. And there's the salary range, $11 million, right, per annum. Chief technical director of energy, right? $11 to $15 million. Here it is, people. Here it is. The chief technical director of corporate service. Tell you what is that? Job under the general direction of the permanent secretary and as one of the key advisors to the permanent secretary. The chief technical director of corporate services provides technical and advisory direction to the staff of the ministry. Now, the CTD is responsible for effective corporate services by planning, directing, coordinating, and overseeing the activities of human resource management and development, procurement, administration, information technology, transportation management, customer service, and documentation information and access service programs. The incumbent is also accountable for the ministry's leadership in strategic direction and evidence-based policy relating to corporate service. Additionally, the CTD is responsible for ensuring that support services are appropriate, attracting qualified personnel, and responsible for ensuring that support services are appropriate, attracting qualified personnel, and offering guidance on procurement. Corporate community development, right? Access to information, transportation, and office service, right? Take it away. We only want to show the evidence of that. Now, Jamaica, where am I going? We don't know what happened over there as it relates to that person, right? Exiting the post. You see the type of money that he's getting. And someone is just not just going to get up, right? And just exit, right? Knowing to the fact that he or she can get pretty near $11 to $15 million per year and took off. And so then we're going to show you that not only Daryl Vaz ministry, right, where that happened. We have seen, and I don't know if it is the plan of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let me say this, I have no evidence, right, where that is concerned that they are telling them to exit the country. But what we are seeing evidence of persons leaving their job. And when you look on the sort of salary that they are getting, you wonder, why are they leaving? And what we observe that when it comes to calling up on them, right, for checks and balance and accountability, they took off. So something is wrong, people. Again, we have the situation with Daryl Vaz as it relates to $1.4 billion, right? That person took off. Let us show the evidence of the consistency of what is happening with the Jamaica Labour Party. Without any delay on it, let us go to tally accounts block assessment for $700 billion. And this person also in the health ministry, right? The person who is in charge of procurement also left. So what is going on in Jamaica? Let us ask ourselves the question: what is going on? Right? They ask for account to give an account. As a result of them unable to give an account, guess what they are doing? They are leaving the island of Jamaica. But as I said, my Jamaican people, Friday, I want everyone to tune in. It's going to be Bangarang. And also we'll be advertising our for the general election. Right? You have that posters on it, but we want to show them before I get into this document. Let us we'll be hosting general election, right? Let me just get into that posters and show you, right? And on our panel, right, we will have Ratigan on our panel to break it down, right? During the general election, we'll have former chairman Rowan James, right? Before we get into that, let us just quickly go back to the document. When we find that, we will get to it and show the Jamaican people, right, who we have on the panel to break down things for us. So let us get back to the culture that we see being developing as it relates to persons who are in charge of procurement process. And when they have been asked to give an account, they are leaving the island. This now we notice being taking place. Now, tally accounts block assessment of 700 billion spent by health ministry. Now, listen, people, this is a document that I run on a consistent basis. The Jamaican taxpayers and the parliament are still unable to assess it, how the Ministry of Health and Wellness spent almost 700 billion in public resources allocated to the ministry over a 10-year period, owing to the apparent failure by the permanent secretary, Dunstan Bryan. So I am not saying that, right? This is the Jamaica Gleaner is saying that, right? Over a 10-year period, owing to the apparent failure by permanent secretary Dunstan Bryan to submit the appropriation accounts to the Auditor General in keeping with the Financial Administration and Audit Act. So something is wrong. Something is clearly wrong, my Jamaican people, right? Here it is. Query to the Auditor General's Department on Tuesday revealed that the backlog of appropriation accounts that had been flagged in successive annual reports of the Auditor General are yet to be submitted for review. Janet, the Executive Director of the Jamaican Accountability Meter Portal, that is distracting me. Meter Portal says she is not surprised that there is no progress at the Health Ministry regarding its legal obligation to account for the money, right? Now the public has provided over the last 10 years. She contends that this is not a new problem and has been allowed to persist for decades. Let us take down that and go to the panel, right? We'll be asking Melting Pot as it relates to what we see, the culture being developing, right, as it relates to those permanent secretaries, right, in the respective ministries so far. The Health Ministry, Dunstan Bryan, right, had, left the country, whatever reason that he stated, right, he's nowhere in the country as it relates to checks and balance and can help us, right, to understand what transpired. He's not here. He's gone. And then guess what, my Jamaican people? What we know for sure is that his job has permanently gone. So he's not saying that he's on study leave. That is just a joke. That is a joke, people. He has gone for good because Mr. Green took up a permanent position there now. So Mr. Green is the permanent secretary there, and Mr. Green doesn't know all the anti-punky that went on with Dunstan Bryan. And this is the way of, to me, subjectively, let me say that, right, seems to be running away from the problem because the level of corruption and they are not able to give an account. So what you say, people, think of it, deduce from what you are getting. And here we have, right, as it relates to Daryl Vaz, right, Chief Engineer Officer, right, who responsible for procurement, gone. So now let me just bring in Melting Pot in the space to break that down for us. Melting Pot, when we see these patterns developing, what say you on the matter? Let us hear your take on the matter.
Well, we can visually see the recurring theme as it relates to permanent secretary, just leaving out of the blue. It's not that their job are under threat in terms of their employment status. It's just them, being a part of the normalization as it relates to corruption. Because we know the GLP, they normalize corruption on a daily basis. It's like their job description. It's not like they are there to administrate on behalf of the people of Jamaica. They are there to administrate their own corruption and high level of theft. So everyone now, based on the solid information as it relates to we over here investigating them and putting out solid facts to our people in Jamaica, they listen us, they know that we are on to them, they know that our facts are credible, and they start to lift up like thief in the night. Them come like Nicodemus, thief in the night, and them are lift up like thief in the night. So everybody can get the clear picture and the idea where we're going. So this is why we have to rebuff everything that Tufton come and say to us as it relates to his ministry. And we know the vast amount of billions of dollars. That is, they can't provide any form of documents to back up what they are saying that they spend the money. So we know they chop the money. You see the same thing happening over Daryl Vaz's side. With him $1.4 billion, obviously that person who preside over the procurement have to lift up as well. Because that person fully know that is a criminal offense that was committed right there and then to the tune of $1.4 billion. Because you cannot have that vast amount of money, being allocated, towards a scheme that is giving away the things that them allocate $1.4 billion towards. These buses are being given away. You can't get them even pay $1 US. America want to get rid of them for free up the space. The land space I'm talking about that these buses take up. So they're giving them away. But yet still, Daryl Vaz see fitting to, contrive with his permanent secretary. And they sign off on this, what you call now, mother of all corruption. Because this bus scandal, school bus scandal, is the mother of all corruption. And why I say this, people, is simply the fact that you can get this bus for nothing. So why Daryl Vaz choose to, mention a budget of $1.4 billion for bringing in 110 all school buses, but yet still the 110 has not reached the island. 25 has come to the island, 23 are buses, 2 are flatbed. So what Daryl Vaz has to say? Nothing. So I have to do something. Now we see him at the Wobia man style of practicing. I went up in bed with Jerry and a white rum, a flash pan bus, I do all type of garbage. The simple fact of the matter why Daryl Vaz is doing this thing, Daryl Vaz know for a fact that he's in serious trouble with that $1.4 billion as it relates to the old school buses there. Daryl Vaz know that this one will send him to prison. Because Daryl Vaz know that he never pay any money for them busted to the tune of $1.4 billion. Daryl Vaz know that him alongside Canada, Panama, and Guadeloupe, one of those countries, Guatemala, did not go in any bidding process to no bus. Canada don't need them. And simple fact of the matter, Jamaica cannot outbid any of those 3 countries. Based on those countries, vast economic strength, Jamaica cannot outbid them at no bidding process. So Daryl Vaz is lying, right? And Daryl Vaz even go and make mention that this company that he started up in Jamaica, right, has the contract with the manufacturer for these buses.
Elijah.
That is another lie. That is another lie. So Daryl Vaz has been lying from the outset because Daryl Vaz knew that that money that the permanent secretary signed off and should never have been, approved. He knows that. And so Daryl Vaz knew from the outset that that money that they approved was just merely a sham. They was using that money to fund their election activity as it relates to vote buying and all these other shenanigans that they pursue. Because they are in serious trouble at the government.
Oh, yes.
They know that they cannot win the upcoming general election fair and square on a level playing field. So what they have to do, they have to do a thing called malpracticing, where they buy vote and do all type of garbage, which still not gonna give them the leverage to win the general election. Because when a society turn against you, there's no coming back. There's too much scandal coming out of the Jamaica Labour Party. And we're talking about 4 to 5 scandals per week.
That's crazy.
And these scandals are attached to vast amount of taxpayers' money. And so Daryl Vaz has to be held accountable, and many, many permanent secretary that preside throughout this Jamaica Labour Party 9.5 years are in serious, serious, serious trouble. I don't want the people to take them eyes off of the permanent secretary, because them have to approve the funding. Them have to sign up on the procurement guideline, approve it and all these things, and they are very, very incompetent because they're all in corruption. Are you about the floor, Sir Byron?
Yes, wonderful input there from Melting Pot. Right, everything what Melting Pot uttered. 100%.
There's an echo coming.
I just closed the mic.
Oh, okay. Yes, 100% accurate coming from Melting Pot. Right, every utterance that Melting Pot made, right, 100% true. Right, the procurement process as it relates to the $1.4 billion busting is flawed. Let me say that Jamaica is flawed. The procurement process is flawed. Daryl Vaz is going to definitely get in trouble for this. Before I bring Sister Pinks, let me just show, right, the thumbnail for our general election, right, coverage. And there it is, my Jamaican people. You have, of course, Jamaica General Election 2025, the panelists, right, none other than the Melting Pot, Reason with Rattigan, and of course, former chairman, right, Corporal Rowan James. And here you have it, Mystic Sensation. Meet me here September 3 with Mystic Sensation from 7 a.m. until close. And trust me, it is going to be such a jubilation as it relates to when this is over. We 100% know that the People's National Party will take this away. No joke about that, right? I've already put my champagne on ice to make sure that I'll be champagning it out, right? I'm positively sure on that. Now, without any delay, let us just bring Sister Spinks in the space for her take on the matter. Yes, Sister Spinks.
I am endorsing what my brother Melting Pot said about the permanent secretaries regarding them being the responsible persons put there at the gate to sign off on every money spent in every ministry. No, that is the other reason why this government raised all the permanent secretaries' salaries. It's another way or bribing them to sign off on any monies going through any ministries. But I have a warning to all these permanent secretaries. You can run, but you cannot hide. We will find you. No matter where you go, we will find you. You understand me? So we know the IC have a list of permanent secretaries on the investigations. So if you are buying a ticket now to fly out before the election, we will find you. You understand me? We will dig you up and we will find you and we will return you to this country and put you on trial, if so be the case. Now, Daryl Vaz and his Ray and nephew venture a while ago in front of the school buses. The school buses were procured fraudulently. The monies cannot be explained. And we saw the crashes and the accidents happen, the buses that are happening to be here. Now, all those crosses and curse is on the Sting school buses from day one. And Daryl Vaz is seen publicly putting on more crosses and curses and demons on these buses. So let me ask the Jamaican people, will you send your child in that bus that is so cursed from day one? Next week, will you trust your precious cargo of a child in any of those buses that Daryl Vaz threw rum on? Mothers and fathers of these children taking these buses, let me ask you, what disregard this man have for your child that is going to curse the bus? Because that's not blessing, that's a curse. God never used rum. You look in the Old Testament, check back the Old Testament. There is nowhere you ever see rum being used at any altar. Rum being used by Jesus to bless anybody. It's always oil. Always consecrated oil is being used to bless people, not rum. So let me ask you Jamaicans who are coming out to vote for Daryl Vaz there. Do you want this man to continue representing you in Garden House? A man who publicly embarrassed himself like this? And I keep asking myself, what dopey is he running? The only dopey that is haunting Daryl Vaz from day one is Diane Smith. Let me remind you, Jamaica, her ghost is the one that is. Let me repeat it. The only dopey that is haunting Daryl Vaz from a long, long, long time, for many, many years, is the ghost of and the dopey of Diane Smith. Now, as I say again, permanent secretaries, you can run, but you can't hide. We will find you. And we will bring you back into this country for trial. Now we see the chief engineer for Daryl Vaz gone. We see Minister of Health, former permanent secretary gone. We will find you. And I yield the floor to Uncle Byron. Uncle Byron?
Yes, thank you, Sister Pigs. Thank you. Yes, here we have it from Lady Pigs. And there we have it from Lady Spinks. And we are serious about that. Don't believe that what Lady Spink said is just, candid in the wind. No. We observe that permanent secretaries are leaving. And we don't, as a matter of fact, we really don't know how many permanent secretaries have left. We only know about 2. And so then it seems as if that they are preparing because they know that the People's National Party, right, will be taking the general election. And trust me, they are going to have to face some questions. And so then it seems like, but running away will not save the pressure that is going to come down on the Jamaica Labour Party, the People's National Party, will be auditing many ministries. Because, trust me, let me say this again, my Jamaican people, come out Friday. Friday is going to be more than an earthquake, Friday is going to be very serious, and that is one of the reasons why, because remember, Ratty don't really come on our Friday program. But when you see that, right, I summon Ratty to be on the Friday program, it is extremely serious, and I want people to tell people, tune in. This is no joking. When we have the evidence, we are going to present it, right? And trust me, we make sure that, you know, my wife and I, right, we look, right, verify what we have, because what I am seeing, I can't believe it. Jamaica, let me say this to you. The level of the involvement of Andrew Ornest. I am so embarrassed to call him Prime Minister in terms of what I learned. I am embarrassed. I'm honestly embarrassed to call him Prime Minister. And what we have learned as it relates to, right, is possible involvement. Let me say that as it relates to being careful. Because some questions that we are going to ask will be very serious. And the Jamaican people, they are going to know. This will not be hidden from the Jamaican people. They are going to know Friday when we tune in, right? So please be warned of what to come. Now let us get into the saga with the, you know, the debate, right? Honey, could you put up the Cliff Hughes clip, right? Hear what Cliff Hughes say. Well, I mean, you know, sometimes even as much how you'd like to suppress the truth, right? Sometimes it's good when you speak your conscience, right? Right. What is going on with the technical situation with us? I honestly don't know, but when we finish here, we're going to make sure we reboot our entire system and fix it, because it just seems like our system under attack. I don't know, right? But
yeah. Seeing that PSRB.
Yeah, but guess what? No matter what, we are going to put out the information to our Jamaican people, right? Put out the Jamaican. So let us share. Okay, so let us
optics were suggesting for me that the PNP won this evening.
It was Team JLP for me, and it wasn't even close.
Well, for me, it was a much better debate than the one we saw last Saturday. Yes, this one, you did not get an opportunity to doze off. We did so last Saturday. This one was full of cut and thrust. I think the start of the debate, the first segment of the debate, Favor Williams started sprinting out of the blocks when she attacked Julian Robinson. Lies, lies, lies. And after that, she faded. She faded badly.
And fast.
Yes. While the PNP, I thought, became stronger during the debates. As the debate, as the 90 minutes wore on, Julian Robinson came into his own. Peter Bunting, the attack dog, started to snipe and to bite, and you got the impression that the governing party's side, Christopher Tufton, Dana Morris, were not in that attack mode to counter-attack. Yes, for example, Peter Bunting dismissed one of the questions and went back after Chris Tufton. The JLP side never attempted to just dismiss a question and counterattack. I think looking on as a voter, as a Jamaican watching, I think the optics were suggesting for me that the PNP won this evening. Ricardo is right in terms of the substantive issues facing the country. The JLP was,
and we glad that we had gotten that from him, right? Speaking the truth, right? And we will accept that. That the People's National Party, two up. I mean, I put up my finger for sure, the two up there. Two up. People's National Party, two up. All right. And so then we know what is going to happen, right? Tomorrow, tonight, right? We know what is going to, and let me say this. We will be on the Titans. Yes, the Titans, right, go into the debate, right? So that is where we are going to be in terms of when we finish with our show, right? We'll be on the Titans. So people tune in on the Titans, right? Make sure you follow the Titans, right? We are going to be there and we are going to deliver as usual. Now let us get into the next clip. As it relates to, right? Quickly break down this stuff, right? So we have 4 more clips. Yeah, people, let me tell you something. I don't know. Our system have been, but we are going to fix it, right? Some of our documents, right, being, man, I just don't know, and I don't like to accuse people, but let us get into this. Right, so just bear with us, people. Right, the last time there are so many malware that
I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state I am not under investigation. Can the 3 of you say that?
Something, all right.
Because I said when I heard that was the high point. Hold on, a bit down here. That was the high point of the debate, and this should make Jamaica be aware, right? As a result of the conundrum that Jamaica Labour Party found themselves in as a result of corruption. Listen, people, listen to this, and they cannot come out and say, I am not under investigation. People, listen to this.
I, Julian J. Robinson, can categorically state I am not under investigation. Can the 3 of you say that?
Something, all right. Something, all right.
Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana.
All right, Jamaica, my apology for the expletives. I didn't even realize that at the end those expletives.
Language, sir, colorful language.
All right, thank you, Melton Pot. Melton Pot said those are colorful languages. All right, let us get into the next clip and then, right. All right, there's be some patience with us, people, because we are getting some attack here, right? They can't stop us from speaking the truth, So my wife is navigating around certain situations that we see showing up on our screen, right? But wife is very good, so wife can do that. I am so happy that she's here. So, all right, let us hear this.
Interesting that that side can speak as if they're ignorant of FinSac, when some on that very side were involved during the FinSac period and benefited. Just recall the 40-40-40. You mentioned it. 40% of GDP to recover from FinSac. 40,000 businesses lost their money. 40% being offered by merchant banks to make a profit. And DBNG made on average 40% return on their investments, which one of the principles sits across me right here. They cannot talk about fiscal presided over the FinSac era. They draw.
Take him away, honey. Take him away, because I'm not going to allow you to get away with that, Christopher Tufton. No, not when we're going down into a general election. The question asked, right, as it relates to Julian Robinson, I am going to also ask the Jamaica Labour Party administration. You have spent hundreds of millions of dollars doing your so-called investigation as it relates to the FinSAC report. Now, you have the FinSAC report, and let me say this is common sense. And so then, okay, all right, you have the bombshell now and People's National Party to come out and embarrass the People's National Party. You are going into a general election, and you don't want to embarrass the People's National Party. Let me ask you, you don't want to have a one-up on the People's National Party throughout the People's National Party business because we don't know no liar, we don't know no propagandists, we don't know who can do it. Because really and truly, what was the FinSAC? The FinSAC was the PNP trying to fix the damage and the cruelty what you have done to investors and damage the banking system. And so then I am not going to allow you to slide with that right another day. And guess what I do? I make sure I get the WikiLeaks document. For me, I don't have to see the FinSAC report. What I'm going to show Jamaica is what is in the FinSAC report in terms of what you people are hiding. So I don't have to wait on FinSAC report to come out, right? Let us go to WikiLeaks and show you some of what is in the FinSAC report, and more serious things are in the FinSAC report. You know, this WikiLeaks document only give might be about those 20%, right, of the reflection. Let me say this. We have Adli Shah, who has benefited from loans from Dan Crawford. We have Adli Shah, who has benefited, and we don't know the amount that was given to Adli Shah. Right? We need to know that tough time. Right? Now, Peter Bunting and Mark Golding never making the benefits from FinSAC. So you need to understand that and stop from telling lies. Now, we know that Edward Seaga, the amount of money that Edward Seaga borrowed, that created a heavy impact that caused the financial meltdown. Let me get into the document, show the people in the document. We don't have to wait on the FinSAC report around here. Let us get into that document. Let us get into that document, because you're not going to fool our people around here talking about the FinSAC, and you pay much money to do the report, and you're not going to reveal it. So if you're not going to reveal it, let me show you some of what is in the FinSAC report, what you are hiding. And all of those persons who benefited from the 95 financial meltdown as it relates to Dan Crawford Bank, Central National Bank, you need to come out with a report so that Jamaican can see all of those who benefited and helped to cripple the banking system. Now let us read. Summary. Dan Crawford, former head of the failed Central National Bank, has lost his appeal to the Privy Council following a 1999 conviction in the civil court for financial fraud. It is the People's National Party who had pursued him. So then if the People's National Party did have anything to do with the 95 financial meltdown, why would the People's National Party pursue him and convict him? Isn't the People's National Party who pursue him and convict him? Right? No, and has been instructed to repay about US dollars 45 million to the government of Jamaica at the time was the People's National Party. So we want to make the people understand, right, why the reason why you, right, don't want to show the FinSAC report. Why you hold on the FinSAC report, because the FinSAC report is now showing up GLP wrongdoings. Although the Director of Public Prosecution has made a ruling on whether criminal charges will be filed, that ruling has not yet been made public. Crawford, who resides in the US, was once a darling of the Jamaican banking sector. he was often lauded by government of Jamaica officials for his foray into non-banking areas at a time when investors were shunning the productive sector to benefit from the high interest rate regime. However, Crawford's bank, and when we talk about Crawford is the person who affiliated with the Jamaica Labour Party. He doesn't affiliate with the People's National Party. So let us read. So we want to clear up that thing. However, Crawford Bank, which made a number of loans to connected parties, was soon to face a liquidity and solvency crisis and had to seek assistance from the state. Some of those loans went to many Jamaica Labour Party member of parliament. Talk about the truth, including Adley Shaw, who was the Minister of Finance. Am I lying? Adley Shaw, am I lying? You got some of the benefit. And you, right? Now, recognizing the extent of the deficit, the authorities took control of the bank and eventually charged Crawford for financial fraud. Who pursued and charged him for financial fraud? It's the People's National Party. People wake up. It is the People's National Party who are pursued him, right, and charged him for financial fraud. It is widely believed that his close affiliation with the opposition Jamaica Labour Party, not close affiliation with the People's National Party. Let us give the information as it relates to we are talking about 8 investigators, apex investigators who have done this and carried out. So this is not any form of investigator out of Jamaica. We are talking about apex investigator, right? Did not help his cause, as no other banker has been charged. Crawford lawyers are in process of discussing payment, which, if made, would provide a much needed windfall to the cash-strapped government of Jamaica, right? And so then, as it reads there, the cash-strapped government of Jamaica, the damage, what Edward Seaga, right, Adley Shaw, and several GLP, right, members of parliament, right, who are damaged the Jamaican system, and Ethiopia wicked after they had done their damage, want to know, claim that no, it is the People's National Party. Don't want to think what the People's National Party had done, right, is tried their endeavor best to make sure they save the banking system and try to give back some investors money. And you people want to crucify them. What did they do? What the People's National Party had done? It is the Jamaica Labour Party who are definitely, right, wrecked the banking system as it relates to the formulation of several Ponzi schemes, the Cash Plus, the Orient, the SSL, and who is benefiting from them? People, the Cash Plus, the Orient, and the SSL. Who you see benefiting from them? Andrew Oles, Andrew Michael Oles, and other GLP confederates like Daryl Vaz and other persons who, you understand, got benefits from them, and they knew very well that they are hurting investors. These people are criminal, plain and simple. The UK-based Privy Council on October 10 ruled that Dan Crawford, no, this is the UK court, you know, the UK court, the UK Privy Council. So you know that this is not Apex, right, court, an Apex appellate court, right? Now, the UK-based Privy Council on October 10 ruled that Dan Crawford and former top executives of the failed Central National Bank must pay the government of Jamaica an estimated $45 million in principal and interest for unsecured loans. People come, see the crux of the matter here. This is how the 90s financial meltdown happened, occurred, as it relates to Dan Crawford, Paul Cheng Young and Associates, right? Take out investors' money, give them friend. You understand? The same sort of stealing business now, you understand, money laundering and all the criminality that these people hold back the country from its progress. And that is why when I look and see some people following the Jamaica Labour Party, I wonder, right, as it relates to, do they know the history of the politics? Do they know the history? And so then you have, of course, channel, right? Like a well-known some channel, right? A Rattigan, right? A Mystic Sensation, and many more. You understand? Who now delivering the information to the people, doing the deep dive, you understand? Bring it up to the people. Because what GLP known for is one propaganda, run them gimmicks, them PR, wreck the country, and tell life on the PNP. And tell life on the PNP. That is all, even today as we speak, confuse a lot of people's mind, saying that the PNP, neither the PNP or GLP are better. Both of them are the same thing, which is an absolute lie. Absolute lie. Every progress that the People's National Party had made, every 3 step that the People's National Party made, it is the Jamaica Labour Party who had eroded those benefits. Now look at what things are done with the economy. Look what things are done with the economy after Bruce Golding wrecked it. Now, Andrew wants to do with it. Andrew wants to do with it. People, when we run out on him Friday, now, we're going to see Andrew Honest for who he is. And let me give a tip. Let me give a tip of what we have come out with. Andrew Honest and the commissioner, the then commissioner of police, Google Gaga, on the line up on yourself, right? When you come in front of the class Friday now. Andrew Honest and Google Gaga. Let me repeat it. Andrew Honest, Google Gaga, and the DPP, on the line up on yourself for Friday. All right. Now, the Privy Council is expected to announce the final amount payable to the estate when it's hands down its written judgment later this month. The Privy Council hand down rule and judgment from the Jamaica Labour Party people. Let me know. The Privy Council's ruling arose from the appeal of March 1999 decision by Jamaica Chief Justice Leslie Wolf, in which he berated. You know what Leslie Wolf is saying now as it relates to Dan Crawford and the JP Confederates, in which he berated the actions of Crawford and another top executive, Cable Williams, who he described as rogue bankers. What do you mean? They were busy helping themselves to the bank funds, busy helping themselves to investors' money. Wolf said in his judgment at the time, these payments constitute a misapplication of the bank funds, giving them friends and cronies, right? However, Crawford, who reportedly resides in Atlanta, was once regarded as a model banker, and government of Jamaica functionaries view this bank as a blueprint. Crawford was often lauded by government of Jamaica officials for venturing into non-banking areas such as real estate at a time when investors were shunning productive investment to benefit from government of Jamaica high interest rate policy. Now, when the government think that this man, you understand, it's trustworthy, right? This man is taking investors' money, right? Robbing investors' money, right? Giving investors' money to his friend, right? And other criminal counterparts because they are criminals. Now, watch this now. Ironically, it was Crawford foray into non-core activities, which was partly responsible. Listen, people, we now make up this. These are the information, right, that in the FinSAC report that they don't want to release. And what I am giving here is might be just 1/3 of the information that is in there. So more damaging report is in the FinSAC report against the Jamaica Labour Party. So now you understand why they don't want to show it to the public. Because if they show it to the public is going to write them off. But anyway, I'm showing a little piece. That means you can still write them off. Ironically, it was Crawford's foray into non-core activities, which was partly responsible to people right? Not the PNP. Should partly responsible for the bank demise. When you hear that, people, as a number of unsecured loans were made to what? Connected parties to finance these investments. In particularly, the bank made loans to companies owned by Crawford, listen up, people, his mother, you know, see how this money are going, and former opposition leader and Prime Minister Edward Seaga. You know, see no Michael Manley did that, so? Me no see no PJ Patterson there. Me no see no Portia Simpson there. Me no see Norman Manley did there. Me no see Michael Manley there, so. Right? In plain patois. Make me read back over it. His mother and former opposition leader and Prime Minister Edward Seaga. One such loan was made to an affiliated company to construct over 700-room Renaissance hotel. The unsecured loans to connected parties took a toll on the liquidity and solvency of the bank when they could not be financed. Jamaica Labour Party wrecked the banking system. Take it away. Let us go to a wonderful panel to break this down, and then we take an ease to visit over by the Titans. Don't miss it over by the Titans. People make sure to roll over Titans. All right. Having said that, I'm sure Jamaica, you understand why they don't want to, you know, release the FinCEN report, obviously, because the FinCEN report is against them, right? The FinCEN report is going to speak about Seaga, right? The FinCEN report is going to speak about Ardisha. The FinCEN report is going to speak about many Jamaica Labour Party, right, who have benefit from the FinCEN, including Andrew Wallace, who coming out and talk about the FinCEN was the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. And here is Brother Anancy doing his tukumaism. Brother Anancy doing his tukumaism. But we're not going to get to it now, because we are revealing the stuff what the people need to know, right? We don't have no shame. Jamaica Labour Party don't have no shame. And being said that, let me just give the privilege to the open batsman to take it away and break it down.
Yes, sir, Byron.
Blessed, my brother.
Now, when we look at, you know, what is going on currently as it relates to the high political season that we are in, we are just, you know, a week away merely from the general election. And as it relates to the debate, yeah, that the two political parties were engaged in, I wonder what spook Tough Tongue to really revisit FinSAC and make reference of people from that side benefited from FinSAC and wanting to paint the picture as if FinSAC was the brainchild of the People's National Party, deflecting from the reality of how FinSAC was, I mean, how the Cash Plus was formulated, yeah, which led to the FinSAC revolution. Cash Plus was the brainchild of the GLP party, along with Dan Crawford and those other members that were affiliated around that Ponzi scheme. FinSAC come about because the People's National Party had to react to what was going on as it related to this Ponzi scheme come and wreck a lot of Jamaican investors. Not only in Jamaica, but also from the diaspora who invested their money in the scheme. So FinSAC was created by the People's National Party as an intervention tool to remedy and rectify the problem that they saw that emerged during the period of time from the Eagle Merchant Bank, from all the way down to the Cash Plus revolution. And so we know that 100 million US were spent to analyze and to verify and to make a report on what took place during that period in the 90s meltdown. And so here it is. We have a document that is enlisted under the heading and the title of the FinSAC report. Who was that document? The Jamaica Labour Party. We also have another document as it relates to the Crawl report that attaches itself to the SSL, which is another Ponzi scheme again. You could attach it to Paul Chenyong and the Eagle Merchant Bank. You could attach it to the Cash Plus era. Those two were from the FinSAC revolution. But they have both documents and them can't use them to score the point. Now that's supposed to be a weapon of destruction to the People's National Party if those documents did not contain the entire Jamaica Labour Party from them period of time there. There's no People's National Party been mentioned in those two reports. The FinSAC and the Crow report. It's all Jamaica Labour Party entourage. It's all of them names that's in it. That's why they hold on upon them and don't want to release them. I remember both those documents cost over 100 million Jamaican dollars. And so Tough Tongue should never have woken out more can of worm. Tough Tongue was only sinking the Jamaica Labour Party further and further. Because any critical thinkers will ask the question, then why don't you use it and score some political point? We don't know well done in the poll. When the People's National Party are buffing left, right, and center all over the island, when the whole place turn orange, green is nowhere to be seen. But don't have them material sit down and I use it. I dare anyone now to come out with those two reports and see where we want to get with it. Because it have only Jamaica Labour Party, members of parliament and their associates. Their name are in those reports. And as it relates to the FinSAC period, it's only Labour right benefit from that. Andrew Wallace benefit. Andrew Wallace and Juliet buy a house for 7 million. It currently value about 80 million, going on to 100 million. And Marie Vaz benefit. She buy a house and sell it 2 years after and make profit. Over 4 million profit she make for her money within 2 years. So these people still buy up the people and property because them cripple the people, you know, by crashing the scheme where the people and put their money in. Leave the people and broke. The only thing that could have, you know, kind of balanced the people in a way was borrowing. And at the time, based on the revolution, there was a high interest rate going around. Now people knew what the interest rate was all about. But because when your skin and up on your face, you have to seek alternative measures to rise you back again. So people still go up for the rate and take loan at the high interest rate because there was nothing else to do. So when they make mention of Deering and Bunting and Golden, and say they make money out of Peter Bunting them. Peter Bunting them make money the legal way. Their business was registered, paying tax to the government. Them never run a Ponzi scheme and make money. They make money through a reputable entity. You understand? So I want Christopher Tough Tongue just know where my talk say. Because I tell you, you know, them man they drink mad puss piss na them rum. Them over junk and I yield back the floor. I yield back the floor, Sir B.
All right, another wonderful delivery coming from right the panelists, right, Melting Pot and Pink Stew. Right now, let us bring Lady Spinks in this place because Lady Spinks will be closing out tonight because we're just gonna have Lady Spinks close us out and then we prepare ourselves to be on the Titans. As we said, people, remember we lock it down on the Titans. All road leads to the Titans. All right, Sister Lady Spinks comes in.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Byron. We have been beating and teaching from many platforms in many areas, many speakers have tried to explain the FinSac and what the FinSac is about. And still, I cannot believe Tufton tried to use it in that debate on Tuesday. Now, let me try and see if we can simplify it for the people who still don't understand what FinSac is. Just imagine you went to a party and some people named Seaga and his friends Paul Chen Young and Don Crawford, came together and decided to put some laxative in the punch bowl. And after you drank the drinks with the laxative and you went home, you started to have diarrhea. And all Don Crawford, Seaga, and his friend Paul Chen Young did was just laugh at you. Then the PNP came along now and said, here is the treatment for your diarrhea.
Yes, yes.
It cannot be simpler than that. Because if you have diarrhea, there's no nutrients going inside your body for the time period. And in the 90s, nobody was benefiting from these banks and these fancy schemes that Seaga and his friends put up. Again, I will say this. Seaga was the architect. His friends supported him during his campaign, his electoral campaign. They came into power, and what they did, he gave licenses to his friends to open financial institutions, and they did not meet the international requirements to open these financial institutions. And that is why it was a Ponzi scheme in disguise. Coming down to why people lost their property, because people were seduced into use these banks, go to these banks, take out loans, and use their properties as collateral. High interest rates. High interest rates were introduced by these banks. And this again was another way of land grabbing from the people.
So right.
Not only Action and benefited from buying properties from these people, but remember, our husband also owned a used car lot company in Kingston. And that property belonged to one of the former persons who lost their property through one of these banks. He opened his used car lot property, and that eventually closed down because according to what I said earlier, Diane Smith Duffy follow Daryl Vaz wherever he goes, every business he does, he fails. And everything that Daryl Vaz will be doing until he dies, it will be a failure until he confesses his sins. No, let us go back to Daryl Vaz benefiting again from the bus system here, the school bus system. He can't explain where he got the $1.4 billion from for the school bus system, right? And I have to ask myself, since this engineer flew out, if Daryl Vaz is one of those members of parliament on that side that is under investigation by the IC. People who live in his constituency, people who normally support Daryl Vaz. I'm asking you to ask Daryl Vaz if he's under investigation by the IC. Because he's willy-nilly with money. You saw him dosing himself with this rum. I am happy he did not use Vibes Cartel rum. You understand me? Because we know Ryan Neville has always been on that side as a supporter from a long, long time. Anyway, Daryl Vaz, we know that you allowed Norman Manley Airport to go many years without any maintenance until it started to be leaking roofs and water coming through and sewage pipe bursted in the airport. Is it because your travel documents were revoked and whatever? Because many years ago, you were given a 1-year visa to travel to America. Was it renewed? I want to ask the voters in Daryl Vaz constituency again to ask him to show them his passport with his up-to-date visas.
All right.
I need you voters to think about these questions I'm putting out here. And my concerns, can he travel overseas? Because he said he sent a group of people to inspect these buses. Did he travel with this group of people? And I'll ask it again. Daryl Vaz, come show me your passport. You ask about current leaders' birth certificate. We want to see your passport. And remember, the one-year visa was the visa given to drug smugglers. Daryl Vaz, you need to answer some questions. And people who are voting for him need to ask Daryl Vaz these questions. And I yield the floor, Uncle Byron.
Okay, well, that is going to be the end of today's show because we will take the time to fix our system and figure out the problem and resolve many of the issues that we are currently experiencing. So I want to tell the people once again, remember, see us on the Titans, right? We will be taking you straight through, right? So on behalf of the panel, bless up, right? People of Jamaica, right? Stay tuned, right? We love you all. Blessings. All right. Okay.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.